100 miles north of the Scottish capital, Edinburgh. It slices the Highlands in two.
Hidden in the murky depths lies a mystery unsolved for 1,500 years. Is this the home of the Loch Ness Monster?
There's something in Loch Ness that shouldn't be there.
For centuries, people have wondered what hides in the dark waters of Loch Ness. Recent, clear photos have sparked new excitement and debate.
Since the first photographed sighting at the beginning of the 20th century, folklore has it that a large, possibly prehistoric sea monster lurks beneath the waters of Loch Ness. Grainy photos and even some tantalizing but inconclusive footage has emerged to keep the legend of Nessie alive.
Now, advanced AI technology has scanned the lake, uncovering shocking results.
Countless investigators have tried to uncover its secrets on the quest for the Loch Ness Monster.
It appeared to me to be a whale-like object.
It was creating a huge wake, and it appeared to be moving very fast down the loch.
The Loch Ness Monster mystery continues, blending ancient folklore with modern science and raising questions no one ever expected.
The biggest search for the Loch Ness Monster in more than half a century is underway this weekend in Scotland. Hundreds of people are taking part in the effort to capture evidence of Nessie's existence using drones, infrared cameras, and underwater microphones.
The legend and the loch. The story of the Loch Ness Monster may go back over 1,500 years. Some of the earliest hints come from Pictish stone carvings found in the Scottish Highlands. These stones often show mysterious water creatures with long necks and curved bodies. Interestingly, about 40% of all known Pictish stones feature such beings. Highland communities lived close to dark, deep waters and often told stories of strange creatures lurking below. These carvings suggest the idea of a water monster was already part of local culture in the 5th century. Written records begin in the 6th century, when St. Columba traveled through the Highlands. According to legend, he encountered a water beast on the River Ness. One story tells of a swimmer attacked by this creature. Columba reportedly intervened, saving the man and driving the beast away. These early accounts show that local people already believed in the creature as real and dangerous. The monster became part of local consciousness, blending fear, fascination, and respect for the mysterious waters. Loch Ness itself is ideal for hiding such a creature. It stretches over 22 miles in length and reaches a depth of 788 feet in its deepest part. The water is dark and stained with peat, making it nearly impossible to see far below the surface. Beneath the lake, hidden trenches, narrow channels, and underwater ridges create perfect hiding places. The remote, quiet, and pristine environment also adds to the mystery. Its isolation and natural beauty capture the imagination, making people more willing to believe in something extraordinary lurking below. The combination of ancient carvings, early historical accounts, and the unique geography of Loch Ness has kept the legend alive for centuries. These elements make it one of the most enduring mysteries in the world. Even today, the idea of a massive creature gliding beneath the dark waters continues to fascinate scientists, locals, and tourists alike. The lake, its history, and its folklore form a perfect foundation for the Loch Ness Monster legend. But these old stories were just the beginning. Real people would soon report shocking encounters that changed everything forever. Modern sightings through the ages. One of the first modern sightings happened in the early 1870s. D. Mackenzie reported seeing what he thought was a floating log, but it suddenly came alive. Witnesses described it as looking like an upside-down boat, smooth and dark in color. Interestingly, Mackenzie did not report this sighting immediately. It only became public in 1934, raising questions about credibility. Still, it was one of the earliest hints of something unusual in Loch Ness. The year 1933 marked a turning point. On July 22nd, George Spicer and his wife claimed to see a creature crossing the road along the loch. They described a large dark body with a long snake-like neck. They even said it was carrying prey in its mouth. Newspapers picked up the story quickly, and suddenly the world was talking about Loch Ness. This event gave birth to the name Nessie, which became known in households across the globe. Sightings and interest increased dramatically after this moment. Just months later, in January 1934, Arthur Grant reported a nighttime encounter while riding his motorcycle. His observation was detailed enough to create a drawing, which showed a creature resembling a prehistoric plesiosaur. This image established what many now recognize as the classic Nessie silhouette: long neck, small head, and a large rounded body. It became the reference point for later sightings and for popular imagination. Over the decades, patterns began to emerge. Witnesses consistently described a long neck, a large body, dark skin, and an apparently impossible size. Many also reported deliberate behavior, moving slowly, surfacing in one place, disappearing mysteriously, then reappearing elsewhere. Despite differences in the exact details, these recurring traits made people believe there could be a single real creature behind the legend. The combination of early modern sightings, the explosion of media attention in 1933, and the iconic images of 1934 solidified Nessie as a global mystery. Over time, these reports created a consistent pattern that continues to fascinate both scientists and the public, keeping the legend alive in modern culture. These early sightings created a clear pattern, but one terrifying encounter in 1952 would haunt witnesses for life. The Greta Finley encounter, 1952. On August 20th, 1952, Greta Finley and her 13-year-old son, Harry, went to Aldari Pier by Loch Ness. The day was calm, with soft summer weather. The loch's surface was smooth and quiet, perfect for a relaxing afternoon. Greta and Harry had planned a peaceful visit to the water and expected nothing unusual. They stayed close to the shore, a detail that later allowed them to see something extraordinary at very close range. Suddenly, they noticed a large creature in the water, only about 20 yards away. The sighting lasted several minutes. Greta described a long neck, more than 15 feet in length, rising gracefully above the water. Its skin looked shiny, smooth, and reflective, almost like a snail's shell. On the top of its head were two rounded projections, a feature not reported in other sightings. The creature moved slowly and deliberately, gliding through the water without any aggression. Both Greta and Harry could watch it clearly for enough time to notice these unusual features. They were amazed and unsure what they were seeing. The encounter had a lasting psychological effect on the witnesses. Greta remembered the sight vividly for decades. Harry, however, was deeply affected and avoided fishing or going near the loch for the rest of his life. Researchers took note of this and later interviewed them multiple times, first in 1957, then during the 1960s, and again in 2020. In all these interviews, their descriptions stayed consistent. Key details like the long neck, shiny skin, and head projections never changed, even after 70 years. The Greta Finley sighting stands out because of its close distance, clear observation, and unique features. It is one of the most detailed and reliable sightings from the mid-20th century. The calm, deliberate behavior of the creature, combined with the careful observation by two witnesses, gave researchers credible data. The encounter reinforced the legend of the Loch Ness Monster while also providing long-term, reliable witness testimony. It helped form a consistent pattern of behavior and appearance for the mysterious creature. Greta and Harry's accounts added a critical piece to the puzzle, showing that Nessie's presence was not just a rumor or imagination. This sighting also highlighted the importance of witness credibility. Both Greta and Harry had no reason to lie, and their reports were free from exaggeration or media influence at the time. The careful observation and consistency across decades make this encounter one of the most compelling in Loch Ness history. It offered valuable insights into the creature's size, movement, and physical characteristics, helping researchers understand what they might be searching for in future investigations. The Finley sighting gave researchers their most detailed description yet, but critics had different ideas about what happened. The skeptics strike back. Some people think the Loch Ness Monster sightings can be explained by normal animals. Experts like Ronald Binns, Maurice Burton, and Stuart Campbell suggested one possible idea. They believed that some sightings might actually be red deer swimming in the loch. When deer swim, their antlers often stick out of the water. From a distance, these antlers can look strange, and some people might mistake them for a long neck or unusual shapes rising above the surface. This could explain certain reports of Nessie, especially those seen near the shore or in shallow water. Skeptics also argue that the human mind and the natural surroundings can trick people. Often, people see what they expect to see. If someone has heard many stories about Nessie or seen drawings and photos, they may think they are looking at the monster even when it is something ordinary. Stress, excitement, or fear can also change how memories form. Small details may appear much bigger or stranger in a person's mind. The loch itself adds to the confusion. The water is dark, muddy, and stained with peat, making it very hard to see clearly. Light bends in unusual ways as it passes through water, making objects look larger, longer, or oddly shaped. Floating logs, birds, waves, or even debris could appear like a huge creature moving across the loch. These natural tricks, mixed with human imagination, can turn ordinary objects into something extraordinary. Still, these explanations do not solve every case. Many sightings report creatures in deep water, sometimes more than 20 feet below the surface. A deer could never appear this way. Deer also behave very differently in water. They usually thrash or swim quickly toward the nearest land, but witnesses often describe Nessie gliding calmly and smoothly. Other reports mention a long neck, shiny skin, and unusual body shapes that do not match any known animal in the loch. These differences show that ordinary animals and optical illusions cannot explain all the sightings. Psychology and natural effects may explain some of the reports, but many details remain puzzling. The calm movements, unusual forms, and repeated descriptions from multiple witnesses over many years keep the mystery alive. Skeptics offer logical ideas, but the evidence does not fully agree with their theories. Many sightings remain unexplained to this day. Whether Nessie is a real monster, an undiscovered species, or just a powerful legend, the story of the Loch Ness Monster continues to capture curiosity and wonder all around the world. Critics raised good points, but their theories had serious problems. Scientists discovered things that didn't fit simple explanations. When science meets the unknown. Roland Watson, a researcher, used science to study the many sightings of the Loch Ness Monster. He wanted to test whether the reports could be explained by ordinary animals, or if something unusual was happening. To do this, he looked at bathymetric surveys, which are detailed maps of the loch's depth. These surveys revealed that many sightings took place in very deep water. This evidence made the deer theory seem unlikely, since deer cannot appear in the way witnesses describe when the water is that deep. Watson also turned to modern tools like Google Earth to study sighting angles. He used it to recreate the viewpoints of witnesses, helping him understand how the creature might have looked from different positions around the loch. He then compared the reported movements of Nessie with the behavior of known aquatic animals and land animals. The results showed that Nessie's behavior did not match any ordinary species. Instead, the sightings appeared unusual and difficult to explain with simple answers. Science also examined how trustworthy the witnesses were. Many people claimed to have seen the creature more than once, sometimes over a span of decades. Researchers interviewed these witnesses multiple times, checking for changes in their stories. While small details sometimes varied, the main features stayed the same. Most witnesses had no reason to lie. They were not seeking money, fame, or attention. In fact, many reported feeling stress or fear after their encounters, which suggests the experience left a deep mark on them. This emotional impact made their accounts more believable. Scientists admit that eyewitness testimony has its limits. People can forget, exaggerate, or misremember details, especially when they are frightened or excited. To manage this, researchers focused on separating the consistent details from the changing ones. For example, witnesses often disagreed about the exact size or color of the creature, but they repeatedly described a long neck, a large body, and calm, deliberate movements. When the same features appear in many independent reports, it strengthens the case that something unusual might have been seen. By using careful analysis, testing credibility, and applying the scientific method, researchers have shown that some Nessie sightings cannot be dismissed as deer, waves, or optical illusions. Science may not yet provide all the answers, but it gives a structured way to study the mystery and separate likely facts from imagination. Science brought new tools to this old mystery. Then, a shocking photo appeared that would change everything: the new image. Recently, a high-quality photograph of Loch Ness went viral, causing excitement around the world. Unlike older blurry photos, this image clearly shows a dark, elongated shape in the water. Experts quickly compared it to historical descriptions of the Loch Ness Monster. The shape matches the long neck, rounded body, and smooth skin reported in past sightings. Digital analysis and forensic checks were performed to make sure the photo was not altered. The results confirmed the object is real, and not a simple trick of light or a floating log. The photograph sparked debate among experts. Cryptozoologists were excited, seeing it as strong evidence that Nessie exists. They noted the similarities with older sightings and described the movements in the photo as deliberate and unusual for ordinary animals. On the other hand, many scientists remained skeptical. They studied the image carefully using pixel mapping and other forensic tools. Motion blur analysis suggested that the object is large and moving steadily through the water, which is difficult to explain with logs, waves, or known animals. Despite disagreements, the photograph gave both sides more data to consider. The new image has motivated scientists to continue exploring Loch Ness with modern technology. Sonar scans are now being used to map the lake in high detail. Underwater drones with cameras provide live footage from deep sections of the loch. These tools have revealed large, unusual shapes beneath the surface, some of which move in ways that do not match any known fish or mammal. Even with these advances, the creature remains elusive, often disappearing before it can be fully observed or captured on camera. The combination of the modern photograph, expert analysis, and new technology is changing how people study Loch Ness. While the mystery is not yet solved, scientists now have better tools than ever to investigate. The photograph acts as both evidence and motivation, encouraging careful study without jumping to conclusions. It bridges historical sightings with modern methods, showing that Nessie remains an unsolved puzzle, a creature hidden in one of the world's most famous lakes. Even with advanced tools and analysis, Loch Ness continues to protect its secrets. The new image gives hope to researchers and believers alike, keeping the legend alive and inspiring new searches for the truth. The Loch Ness Monster remains one of the world's deepest mysteries. From ancient legends to AI technology, the evidence continues to puzzle both believers and skeptics. Could Nessie be real or just imagination shaped by stories? Tell us what you think in the comments, and remember to like, share, and subscribe for more chilling mysteries.